Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Barak Yadash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, great millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Bashim Shah, trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Spanish, Native Americans, and New Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That'd be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like, for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person, so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up related to what's going on in America with the food, and they're talking about shortages, famine of bread, of course, but also the food being toxic. We got daggone arsenic in the rice, and they spraying chemicals over farmland and fucking forever chemicals, shoot, in your food. But anyway, oh yeah, your president, what it says, president gives Maha the middle finger over forever chemicals. Pretty much, you don't give a fuck. Yep. But anyway, I'm gonna play these videos. I'm gonna get into the scripts my best ability, say whatever I gotta say through the spirit and power, Yahweh Bashim Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Kurhak Radash, Lord wanna be on me. Let's get it.
Wheat harvest America projected lowest in 149 years, money supply highest in 250 years. That intersection in the middle means everything you buy this summer and forward is going to cost you more money, especially food. Amber, waves of grain, not so much this year. Newsweek put it out along with some other forecasters. America's wheat harvest set to fall to the lowest level in 150 years. Some say 140, 149, close enough for government work because it's a government statistic. U.S. wheat harvested planted 1866 to 2026. And you see there's a red line and then the black line starts. Well, the red line was estimated until they got what considered quote unquote really good data just prior to the Dust Bowl, because they started to notice crop losses then too, and they started measuring it to make sure there was enough food for the country. So that puts it in a category of its own, going back that far. What atrocious events had happened to our country in terms of not being able to provide enough rainfall for us to even grow food, and with the incredible drought. El Nino's coming in, and that has something to do with it, but before that, winter wheat never got a start this year either. And dropping in on the July 2nd drought index here, no open low to 48, plus Puerto Rico and Alaska and Hawaii on this, but the drought persists over predominantly a huge amount of our grow belt out west and central. So when you put it in perspective, this is going to be a long-term event here. This is not subsiding. Then you want to add in what's happening in Europe as well. They're having the same exact thing in multiple months, and then that heat dome that just went over really finally sealed the fate of the crops. Corn mainly, they're looking at about a third of all the corn in Europe wiped out. Remember, to step back a month or so, they already had a drought and a heat dome over there when the plants were just emerging out of the ground, and they were really trying to get started, and they got bashed with the heat, not enough water. They sort of recovered, and then we got these record temperatures across France and Germany and other places, some Romanian damage up there too, but it seemed like the greater part of Europe where they're growing crops, corn specifically on this one, where in the United States it's wheat specifically. But wherever you're looking, Australia, wheat, massive declines. Everywhere we grow wheat, Canada, the wheat is down, the corn is down. Prices are going to go up. They're going to follow along this. And the thing I kept reading again was about, is it going to be a prolonged event? Because if it is, start looking for the prices to go up in different commodities. You can follow that on different agricultural news, or just, jump into where they feature prices for wheat, corn, soy, cocoa, sugar, these types of things. This seems to be a prolonged event. So it does look like these prices are going to continue up and up. Now we'll get to the second batch of crop tours here in July. And if they come out as bad as their forecast, then you're going to watch the numbers rise further. Now, put it into context, where we're spending right now with the wheat, it's not even close to the record highs that it's been. We're far below record highs. If you go on an all-time basis, we're not there yet. Europe's not there yet either. But if it persists through the rest of this summer and we get into these drought conditions, we will go at or above those record highs again. So just think about how different, however old you are, what you remember food prices being, depending on how expensive the wheat or the corn or the soy was. That's where we're going again. It's just history is going to repeat this time. It's going to rhyme. So get ready for that. If you remember those days of old. Speaking of days of old, 1911, July 4th. Look at the scorching temperatures. Nearly the entire United States was 90 or 100, blanketed. 1911, put that one in. That was.
But back then, they wasn't being sprayed on by fucking chemicals. I don't know what the shit they're doing, what that do to the sun reflection, but it does something to it. But back then, there wasn't none of that shit that we have today. Let me see. There's another. I mean, they'll give you, okay, the numbers could be 100 degrees back then and 100 degrees now. But shit, for some reason, this 100 degrees and this time is a whole different type of creature. I don't know why. It seems so hot. I mean, we ain't live. Nobody don't live. But I don't think there's anybody that could remember living back here in this time of 1911. But whatever. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is things have changed. But anyway, let's move on to the next video. I ain't gonna play all this shit. And I don't know why I'm talking about temperatures and shit, and it ain't got nothing to do with food. Well, it does. It be droughts, hot ass water. I mean, hot ass weather can affect the food in so many ways. But anyway, if you want to watch the rest of this video, there go the title of the video, there go the channel. Let's move on to the next one.
We all know that I'm a big fan of the heat, but many Siouxlanders are likely ready for a little relief.
Now on the bright side, Siouxland State farmers say their crops also benefit from the heat and humidity, and it's our top story this Monday morning. South Dakota farmers say hot, humid weather provides their crops with ideal growing conditions. However, they still say there's definitely a need for more rain, with much of the region in some level of drought. One farmer tells us when corn starts tasseling, it needs around a 1/4 inch of water each day. The moisture is needed to encourage proper pollination and a good yield.
The better pollination, the fuller the ear will get. So if you get into like extreme heat, extreme drought, the silks will just keep growing because it won't pollinate right, and then you'll just have like a bunch of popcorn kernels, big kernels, if it doesn't pollinate right.
As for soybeans, you know things are going well when they start to bloom. However, they also have warning signs farmers keep an eye out for during drought conditions.
What we look for with soybeans is making sure the crop isn't cupped at all. You'll start to, when crops get stressed, they do what I call covering up. You're going to start seeing leaves start to get tight on the corn. The same thing with the soybeans. You're going to see all those little leaves start to get tight. So what we look for is a plant that's open and healthy, wanting to take in all this sunlight.
Farmers say while they cannot control the rain, they focus on what they can do, like monitoring soil quality and spraying for weeds.
The July WASDE report is giving corn farmers good news. Less supply could mean higher prices. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm Haley Bickelhop. Michelle Rook is digging into these numbers and what it means for wheat, soybeans, and corn. Michelle?
The July WASDE was friendly for corn, with big cuts to both U.S. and especially global ending stocks, which are down nearly 28 million metric tons from last year. This will leave very little room for error the rest of the growing season. Now, while the changes were more muted for soybeans and wheat, the numbers there were still price supportive, showing tightening supplies. USDA tightened the balance sheet for corn in the WASDE, first with a big cut in global corn ending stocks to 275.3 million metric tons. That's nearly 28 million under last year.
I think if we were to maybe say what was the most friendly part of the corn report, would be the overall reduction in the world stocks, the outlook for world ending stocks. And so that was reduced by about 6 million tons from the June WASDE report. And that's a combination of the reduction in the EU harvest, which is primarily the troubles with the French corn crops. That was reduced by 3.7 million tons.
U.S. corn ending stocks were also cut by 125 million bushels on old crop with the lower quarterly stocks. When combined with higher usage, that tightened new crop ending stocks 170 million bushels from last month.
The reduction overall to the old crop stocks was larger than expected. So that was a layer of the friendliness. And then what that then does to the new crop balance sheet is it takes the new crop carryout number just slightly below 1.8 and a 1.8 billion bushel carryout.
As expected, yield was unchanged on corn at 183 bushels, putting production at just under 16 billion bushels. But the tight carryout leaves little room for error. Wheat production was cut 7 million bushels to 1.536 billion as USDA raised yield 0.9 bushels per acre, offsetting a 900,000 planted acre cut. Ending stocks were lowered 22 million bushels to 722 million. The bigger story was world wheat stocks fell by 2.6 million metric tons to just under 272 million.
So global stocks also reduced. The trade was looking for a reduction. However, it was a hair more than what was expected.
And for soybeans, USDA raised production 40 million bushels with 665,000 more planted acres and a 53 bushel yield, but lowered old crop ending stocks and raised exports, leaving ending stocks at a very tight 310 million bushels.
If yield does come in less than trend, now we're starting to put a two handle on the carryout potential. And if you start talking carryout potential at 250, 280, then that's going to prompt some additional buying.
Global soybean ending stocks were also tightened by 0.7 million metric tons to 124.2, but again came in 1 million less than expected. I'm Michelle Rook reporting for Ag Day.
Grain trade seemed to be exempt from the 4-year war between Russia and Ukraine, but things have changed. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm Haley Bickelhop. And tensions have been rising in the Black Sea, and Ukraine has started to hit vulnerable energy and ag infrastructure in Russia. Michelle Rook looks at the impact that this is having on the markets.
Yeah, Russia and Ukraine attacked each other's key grain export gateways over the weekend. Friday, shipping across the Sea of Azov was disrupted as Russia temporarily halted grain and oil exports through the Don-Azov Channel, a key export corridor. Russia is the top world wheat exporter, which caused wheat to rally late last week, and developments are being closely watched by the market. The Black Sea war heated up last week as Ukraine's attacks on 28 Russian vessels closed the Kerch Strait, which connects the Sea of Azov and the Black Sea. That stopped export shipments.
Russia accounts for about 22% of the world's wheat exports, and about a third of those pass through the Kerch Strait out of the Sea of Azov.
Russia's defense ministry in Moscow said over the weekend Russia targeted port facilities in the Odessa region of Ukraine's Black Sea coast. But Bloomberg reports Ukraine had hit 76 vessels since July 6, causing a major disruption to Russian wheat shipments.
But if Ukraine manages to keep it shut down longer, or President Putin gets frustrated and starts attacking grain ships coming out of Ukraine, then we could see this go longer. So it's really going to be the main driver here over the next few days as we see how this plays out.
Black Sea grain transit risks are raising insurance costs for importers. But Suderman says if the market believed the strait would be shut longer term, it would add more risk premium.
The fear and the reason some risk premium was put into the market was, what if it goes longer? If the market truly believed it was a permanent or long-term shutdown, we would have been up the limit on Friday and probably, possibly, maybe even again to start the new week.
Adding to Russia's export concerns longer term is the country's diesel fuel shortage.
They were also having serious fuel problems, having to ration fuel. The railroads are struggling to get stuff moved. They've got trucking issues, so how much of the Russian wheat is available to the shipping market right now is kind of a background concern here.
Ag Resource Company is concerned about additional attacks on Russian and Ukraine infrastructure, with world wheat exporter supplies down over 50 million metric tons from last year. Now, this comes as global wheat and corn stocks are shrinking, and with the crop in Western Europe hit by excessive heat and drought.
We exposed abuse.
And right now, you can save $20 on your first delivery order.
Made with real milk and cream.
I'm getting tired of these goddamn ads.
There's been a lot of news flow over the past week, and a lot of it has been rather attention-grabbing. Everything from Lindsey Graham's death to the war with Iran.
Attention-grabbing, nigga. I was gonna talk about another video about that nigga, but I was like, no, I don't even want to waste my time with that nigga. Fuck that nigga. I hope he rests in piss.
But there's
and the rest of them too. Shit.
A piece of news that I think slipped through the cracks that every single one of you should be paying very close attention to. For the first time in nearly half a century, America's wheat crop is expected to fall to its lowest level since the 1970s. The USDA figures came out last week and they're astonishing. 2026-2027 wheat crop is now estimated to be at about 1.5.
And I'm gonna say this one thing too. Like last week, they're talking about I was looking at some random stuff on the news. Today I was looking at random stuff on the news that I wasn't going to be talking about again. But remember last week they were making that big announcement about PlayStation going fully digital by a certain time and no longer wanting to have no need for physical copies of games. These niggas still talking about this shit. These niggas here still talking about this shit. Like that's like oh my goodness, they ruined gaming. PlayStation getting rid of physical games. They still talking about that fucking shit. Meanwhile, your fucking food is in danger, nigga. And they about to collapse this motherfucker. You don't worry about a fucking PlayStation games being no longer, all that dumb shit. Boy, these people are fucking gone, bro. I mean, these people are fucking gone, bro. They worried about gaming more than your fucking food. But they gonna find out, bro. Anyway, back to the video. I just want to bring that up because people are so fucking distracted, bro. On some stupid shit. I mean, yeah, everything is going digital and getting rid of physical, like especially your money. But right now, is that all y'all people? Some people could talk about is that shit. Anyway.
For billion bushels. But that's not the worst number that I saw. Of course, that's a pretty bad number, right? The number that should concern every single one of you who eats food, and I'll explain why wheat matters to you if you eat food, but the number that I thought was the most concerning wasn't just this extremely low harvest, well, crop, but it was the ending stocks. Our national wheat reserves, get this, are projected to drop more than 20%, 22%. That's a 22% drop in agriculture's insurance policy. UNOS TV keeps the information flowing, but we need your help in keeping it up. Shock that sustains us, shrinks as well. It makes the next shock, the next event, even harder to absorb. Now, this isn't theory, guys. This is exactly what happens when you see these massive drought conditions that we've seen over the last year and a half, combined with these incredible heat domes that have moved from the east. If you watched my video the other day, they're now out in the west. These things are hitting the heartland, the breadbasket of America at the same time. Global supply chains, everywhere we look, are under significant pressure. This season, let's face it, the Great Plains, it took a beating.
That shit was all on us. Which one started first with the heat dome? The South, I think the West Coast, and now it's like the Midwest. That's the breadbasket. Well, I think it was the South, Midwest, and then it's on the West Coast. I can't remember. But either way, the whole country burning up. Hey, these are players of Yahweh Shemal Shah. See the Lord repent. Do the best you can do. It ain't going to be easy. But do the best you can do.
I would say, punishing drought left a lot of fields with much lighter yields. And in many cases, as we've reported on this channel, crops have had to be abandoned. Crops have had to be abandoned in Idaho due to water curtailments. Crops have had to be, wheat crops have been abandoned. Nebraska, if you watch my video on Nebraska, their soil has literally turned into dust this year. Now, the thing about wheat is wheat doesn't just become bread. It's your pasta, your cereal, your crackers. I don't eat cereal, I don't eat crackers either. That's not the point, but it's also in the feed that keeps our livestock alive. Wheat is one of those things that is across our entire food supply. It impacts so many different things. And when the production drops the way that it has, and the buffer shrinks 22%, that's massive shrinkage. The ripple effect reaches every single part of our food chain.
I'm going to stop right there. Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 13. Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. So, amen. The Lord is about to cut off food for humans and animals. And it's going to be some shit.
Our food supply. And here's the other thing.
You want to pray the Lord have mercy on you and provide for it, only because the Lord going to provide for his elect. Don't know how the story going to play out for everybody, but he going to take care of his people, even if they got to be a martyr.
We're not the only ones feeling it. Global production has dropped 25 million tons. Now that's coming off of last year's record. But last year's record doesn't matter when your ending stocks dropped 22%. Russia remains one of the largest global suppliers of wheat. But even then, there's only a handful of suppliers around the world that most of the world depends on. And when several of them wake up short all at once, volatility in this system spreads very fast. The other thing is that modern farming runs on energy. Diesel moves almost everything in farming, from tractors, combines, you name it. Every single piece of equipment in agriculture is dependent on diesel, unless you've got an old Ford 3000 like we do. Runs on gas. Natural gas is essential for things like fertilizer. When energy prices go through the roof because of conflicts overseas, well, as you guys are now aware, those costs, that crisis, doesn't stay in the Middle East. It hits us in the land right here. It hits us on every bushel still standing in the field, and it hits us on everything from animal feed costs to the bread you put on your plate. The USDA's report in and of itself isn't predicting empty grocery store shelves. They're not currently forecasting any type of shortages. What they're showing us is a trajectory of lower production and significantly lower cushion. Those are facts, and those are facts that I think deserve our attention, especially to those of us who care about eating, those of us who care about being prepared for food shortages. These are real numbers, and they don't look good. To be clear, this video isn't about panic, it's about being prepared. Prepared for what?
Well, being prepared, panic, or whatever, is about praying like heaven and Yahweh Shema Shah to get you through these times. shit. With all this stuff that's going on here in America, it's really about punishing the 2/3 of Israel and you heathens. This proud ass country. Yep.
What's coming? If you look at the numbers, you can see what's happening, and I can tell you this: things are not going to get any better with a super El Nino. Do a different video on that.
Yeah, but super El Nino ain't the only thing that's gonna make things worse. It's gonna be a whole lot of things that the Lord is bringing. It's gonna affect the food and everything else. But anyway,
farmers have always lived with uncertainty. They watch the sky, they watch the markets, and they strengthen whatever they have control of.
Hey, that's what you Israelites need to do. Watch things. Watch. Just like the prophets, we watchmen. We watching everything reported to you like we news anchors, news reporters. Yeah, we're like the spiritual news reporters, biblical news reporters. Yeah, you gotta watch everything. Measure the times diligently. Check the signs out, because everything is a sign. You gotta check it out. It's a warning.
Strengthen their soil, they strengthen their herds, they strengthen their own local networks the best that they can. That same mindset matters, especially right now, for anybody who cares about feeding their own families and anybody who cares about supporting those who are growing your food. The wheat harvest, many of you probably don't know this, but the wheat harvest has always been one of what I'd call the clearest indicators of health in America's breadbasket, which means that this year's numbers tell a much bigger story about what is actually going on out there. It tells a bigger story about drought. It tells a bigger story about how heat is impacting crops, about how global conflict and rising input prices are materializing in our food supply chain. When the grain reserves get dramatically thinner, nearly a quarter thinner, every single one of you, every single family in this country has a greater stake in what is happening out there. Guys, keep watching, keep learning.
Yeah. Famine or bread. Let's see what this is about.
Here in the United States, we are about to experience a massive, affordable food shortage. This is something I've addressed before. Keep in mind, this is different from a food shortage, where there's just no food and we experience famine. But here in the US, there is an affordable food shortage that we've been experiencing, and it's only getting worse.
Well, hold on. Let me get a description, then get to that description, then, because he talking about affordable food shortage. And get to this, and then read this, and then I'll let it play. Ezekiel chapter 5 verse 16, when I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. So yeah, the staff of bread be a support system when it comes to your food, from packaging, shipping, processing, whatever. Not in no particular order I'm giving out, but it's just everything that has something to do with logistics and processing, packaging, your food. Is everything is being affected by, even like growing with fertilizer. Yep. I mean, you got diesel being affected, and it's prices are high on that, or either it's not much. I mean, it's gonna get rough out here. Yep. Back to the video.
Listen to this.
The United States government has declared a food supply emergency. Now, it's not because of a hurricane or a drought that wiped out farmland. It's because officials are finally worried about the fertilizer crisis.
And get this, it's not just a fertilizer crisis. That is part of the issue. But then we also have drought in much of the United States. We have some severe weather where we are seeing rain or storms just completely wipe out some cities and their farmland. It is critical that...
And I'm going to stop right there. He brought that up. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before. So the Lord is smiting Egypt, America, because America's spiritual Egypt, and he hit it up before, what was before ancient Egypt, but it's much worse, because what's going on here in America is way much worse than what was going on in Egypt, and the Lord is jacking his place up. Yep. And will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, talk about America, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God Yahweh shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, talking about farmers, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, Yep, from natural disasters, natural disasters, all kinds of stuff, storms and such, and from fear, and with fearful consolation, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Back to the video.
We get this under control, but yet there's nothing we can really do. But President Trump did something. Look at this right here.
Oh shit, he made things much worse.
It says President Trump takes action to lower fertilizer costs and support American farmers.
Wow.
Okay, I want to play this clip and
Yeah, well, let's see if that really did anything. Shit.
he'll explain it.
They lowered the price of fertilizer, which they can't even get anyway.
Donald Trump has declared essentially a food supply emergency and has lifted all tariffs and duties on.
But then, isn't it his fault because of this shit happening? Yes. Yeah. But we know it's much bigger than that. Yeah, it's much bigger and deeper than that. But we're gonna just say it's his fault.
Phosphate fertilizer coming in from Morocco. This news isn't.
And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, with all this calamity and all this disruption when it comes to your food, this shit go ultimately lead people to those chipping stations or the microchip implant. I don't even know why I say chipping station. Well, there'll be chipping stations or chipping centers. We get the RFID microchip implants. You know what I'm saying? The mark of the beast. Yeah, because all roads lead to the mark of the beast, the chip implants. Oh, you need food? Get a chip. You need money? Get a chip. You need shelter? Get a chip. You need to be happy? Yeah, get a chip. And you be happy until the missiles come.
Being widely reported, but it's significant. Due to the war in Iran, tariffs, other trade practices, and more, the United States food supply was potentially at risk given the fact that the United States is not producing enough fertilizer. And so this week, the Trump administration signed a declaration lifting all levies and tariffs on Moroccan phosphate fertilizer for a period of up to 8 months. And in that declaration, the president admitted that the United States isn't producing enough fertilizer and American companies simply can't do it fast enough at this time. And so as a result, we're now going to start importing fertilizer from Morocco without any duties, without any taxes, tariffs, any of that. It's a pretty significant development that not many people are talking about. Spread the word so that other people know, and follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about Morocco.
Okay, so again, we are going to be buying fertilizer from Morocco. Okay, well, what does that do for us? And why are we still talking about a shortage if now we're buying fertilizer? Here's the thing, we are months late. We are so late that many farmers have already given up. I've talked about this before, where I have a friend that he sold his family farm, or a good portion of it, because he couldn't afford to go and buy the fertilizer needed in order to actually run the farm, in order to go and plant all the crops and have the same success that he normally has every single year. He couldn't do it. The fertilizer costs were absolutely killing him. But I want to show you something else. This is an article from Forbes that says China is weaponizing fertilizer against American farmers. Now I want to read a little bit of this to you. Look at this right here. It says, Americans are learning the hard way that food security is a national security issue. A war in the Middle East, a shipping choke point thousands of miles away, or a trade policy decision in Beijing can show up in the price of bread and other staples at the local grocery store. Now, you are already seeing this, and I've been saying this for some time, where people are having an affordable food crisis, where there is no affordable options. I had a friend that went to it was HEB, and one of the things that he said was, prices are normally pretty stable, but he was telling me how this HEB, like the bread that they had, they didn't have much. Their options were limited. Their shelves were fairly empty. And so he was going to get bread because he wanted to make French toast for his family the following day for breakfast. Well, the bread that he was going to buy, it was going to be cheaper if he went to actually go and buy some eggs, and he bought sausage and then bought frozen hash browns. Okay, that's what he bought, because the bread was at $8 a loaf at an HEB. Okay, think about that for a second. $8 a loaf. That's insane. And so he thought, you know what, I'm just not going to do that, because he still had to buy eggs to do, and the cinnamon and the syrup and all that. So he just bought eggs and frozen hash browns and sausage. And it was cheaper to do that than make French toast. So that's exactly what he did. I want to keep reading this though. Look at this. It says, fertilizer prices are rising because the global supply chain is under stress and disrupting the key ingredients needed to produce phosphate fertilizers. More than 30% of the global urea trade, about 20% of the ammonia and phosphate trade, and around half of the global seaborne sulfur trade move through the Strait of Hormuz, which has faced closures in recent months because of the conflict with Iran. And the fact that we are now going back to that, where the U.S.
I'm going to start right there, but yeah, more evidence showing that the staff of bread is being disrupted. The Lord is breaking down that shit. What you gonna do? What is this about? Oh, it's talking about digital ID. That's pretty old. But yeah, what you gonna do when that famine come and hit you? Now shit, when you got food shortages and famine taking place, what about your food being poisoned? Shit, cause that's happening right now. That been going on for the longest, bro. Let's get to it.
We've run out of options, Theseus. Prepare for an orbital strike.
Are you sure, Nessa?
Rice is a dinnertime staple, but a new food safety investigation found certain rice products have concerning levels of a harmful heavy metal.
West 2's Lindsay Sablon is here with the details. And we were just talking about this. We used to eat rice all the time.
Yeah, it was a staple in my household growing up. So Consumer Reports tested more than 4 dozen rice products and found arsenic in every single one of those. It is a staple, so we're not saying stop eating rice completely, but there are ways for you to reduce your exposure.
Man. Let's see what they got to say.
From sushi to stir fry to simple sides, we eat a lot of rice. But Consumer Reports says rice can carry a risk. Inorganic arsenic, a dangerous form of a heavy metal and known carcinogen.
Inorganic arsenic especially is associated with some serious health effects. We know that it's associated with skin cancer, bladder cancer, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular effects.
Consumer Reports bought 52 rice products from store shelves, then sent them to a specialized lab for testing.
We detected measurable levels of arsenic, and specifically inorganic arsenic, in every sample of rice that we tested.
The levels vary. For example, brown rice in general has more inorganic arsenic than white rice of the same type. Basmati and sushi rice tend to have less arsenic than other types. And
I wonder what the other, what was it, Walmart? What about Walmart? How much do they have? I don't know.
More than 40% of the tested products had enough arsenic that eating just 1 serving a day over time could raise the risk of cancer and type 2 diabetes. Several brands like Lundberg and Whole Foods told Consumer Reports they test for heavy metals and that their rice meets California's strict safety limits. Many other companies did not respond. So, what can you do? Consumer Reports says don't overeat rice, use different sides from time to time, including quinoa and oats, which CR found are lower in arsenic. And
basically, we don't try to eat too much of food, of anything that's, well, I can say, try to eat less. Don't eat 3-course meals, just eat 1 course. Try to snack as less as you can. Because, man, this shit, consuming this shit is like, basically it's poison and it's filler food. There's nothing nutritious about it. Because they took all the damn nutritional stuff out of this food. And all and you got people talking about, well, you got to get your calories. Nigga, all you talking about is fat. What about everything else? Because calories don't make your bones healthy and strong, your muscles stay developed, and it doesn't go. Calories don't go to your brain as nutrients. You need all the vitamins and minerals and all that shit to keep a body strong. Calories, I mean, shit, just want to be a fat motherfucker with GMO belly. That's all it is. That's all a lot of us have is calories. And genetically modified bellies growing. Anyway, we got turkey necks and shit. Man, please. Fuck calories. You need nutrition.
when choosing rice, consider lower arsenic varieties like basmati and...
You damn sure don't need no fucking poison in the food. Look at all this shit. Arsenic? What the fuck? What was arsenic? It sounds like something you put in a fucking bomb, explosives. Let me see. What is arsenic used for? Primarily used in products that specialize in semiconductors. So, it's used for your electronics. Shit. How the fuck? For electrical and LEDs. It also hardens lead alloy used in car batteries. Ammunition. Acts of fining agents and whatever. Anyway, what the fuck is this shit doing in the first off? Yeah, what is arsenic doing in the shit in your rice in the first place? Hey man, anyway.
Sushi. How you cook rice can also help. Consumer Reports says cooking rice in extra water for 5 minutes, then draining it and
then the bad thing, the water you boiling, what's wrong with the water you drinking? That shit is fucked up. And it really fucked up when you boiling that shit. From what was it, fluoride? But it's two different types of fluoride. But the fluoride they got in the water we use it is it's the bad fluoride. But anyway, but the bad, this water gets more more active when you boil that shit. So it's even more deadlier, more harmful to you when you boil and it's on your food. So it's more chemicals. Fucking hell, man. I'm tired of this place.
Finishing it in a fresh water can significantly reduce arsenic levels.
Right. And what if the water have arsenic in it? which it do.
And because
don't know tell how much arsenic it has, but eventually, when these niggas disregard the damn the grid and maintenance on the grid, that you definitely gonna have a high level of arsenic and all other kind of shit, metals in your water. Yeah, even your food.
Level of arsenic is considered safe. Consumer Reports is asking FDA to set arsenic limits on all rice products. It did ask the agency about the plans. The FDA has not responded.
Where is this, Hawaii? Cause them two look tropical. Them two look kind of tropical. They look japhetic. Yeah, they're like some damn japhetic ass nigga. Is this? Oh, this is Florida. Well, they look tropical still. They probably some damn Jakes, Northern Kingdom.
But they have made massive moves like this in the past. They actually tested all the baby formula and found those troubling levels of lead, which is what led to national testing. So oftentimes when Consumer Reports gets involved, we start to see changes at the federal level.
I'm going to be so interested to see what they eventually come up with in terms of how much arsenic can be, detrimental. Because the three of us up here were just talking about it. I mean, I think there was rice sitting on our dinner table every single day, sitting next to some sort of curry or something.
Oh yeah, arroz con pollo, arroz con habichuelas, like it's.
Yeah, they Northern Kingdom.
Yes.
Yep.
All over.
So now a little bit less and making sure we're washing it really, really well and doing that double wash.
Double wash. All right.
Man, fuck that shit. Anyway, we gotta get the hell out of here. That double wash, shit. You still eating toxic. You still eating shit. What we got? Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because, and these niggas don't even know this ain't your rest. They Israelites, they could look, got a little brown on their skin, but they don't mean shit. But they can speak Spanish, and they don't mean shit. Cause you just speaking the language of your slave master. And just like you so-called black folks, you got those English last names. You speaking English, cause you got that shit from that damn devil. You learning his ways. That's like you Northern Kingdom. Y'all learning y'all ways from this devil. Speaking Spanish or Portuguese, and all that dumb shit. And what else? Got their last names, cause they titled y'all motherfuckers. Y'all don't even know who y'all were before then. Oh shit. Well, y'all tell you right now who you are. You're Israelites, the people that's in the Bible. But anyway, some people ain't gonna believe that. Let me stick to the topic. For the people who have people who got eyes to see and ears to hear, and brain cells that's willing to be processed and do something about it by seeking the Lord and repenting. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction. I know I read that, but I'll read it again. Could have read it a little later after, but I was like, I don't want to waste no time. Let's go get that one. Let's go ahead and read that, and let's get to the next video. Let's see what Trump got to say about the food.
Let the show begin, baby.
Weird how quiet the Maha movement has been as Trump takes a chainsaw to the very little environmental food protections we had. Speaking of enormous, disappointing grifters, RFK here's his big announcement of how they're going to rein in all of these chemicals.
AIDS communities were exposed to these chemicals without transparency or accountability. Years ago, beginning in 2001, I worked with families in Ohio and West Virginia whose drinking water had been contaminated by PFAS contaminants released into their communities. That case helped expose the scale of this problem nationally and resulted in a 671.
Yeah, what's the on the farm? They still have that shit going on where they've been selling this fertilizer to these people, and it turned out the fertilizer is tied in with human waste, and it's got all that the fucking toilet paper, chemicals from toilet paper that's and other shit from the waste, from waste control, and all that shit has been laced in with this fertilizer. Yeah, and it's garbage, and it's poisonous shit. The poison it's not giving the land any. It's fucking shit up. Even the animals, they're in the water too. And these niggas still, and it's funny. They willing to take somebody's land and say that, oh, your land. Oh yeah, it was a video. I don't know if I played that shit about they took this man land. They taking line with a lot of them Edomites. I don't know about any J's, but I just say they taking these farmers' land, they shutting the man's farm, they shutting people's farms because the farm is not fit for farming because it's is known to be hazardous. It's not, it's not a healthy land, a healthy soil. It's hazardous. It's all because, but they shutting that shit down. They shut the farms down because of that. But they're not stopping these motherfucking companies stop making this bullshit fertilizer that's mixing forever chemicals in it, and they're claiming it's fertilizer. They're not stopping that shit. That's what I'm telling you. This is bullshit. This place is fucked up, and it's ruled by a damn nigger named Esau, the so-called white man. But he ain't white. He's raised as a motherfucking baby dick sucking, foreskin eating nigger, baby dick sucking, foreskin eating nigger, Jewish faggot fucker named Amalek. These niggas are stupid.
$1 million settlement for affected residents.
Fucking stupid.
The Mark Ruffalo later made a movie of that lawsuit called Dark Waters, and it was one of the vehicles by which the PFAS problem became known to the American people. And I've worked also on many other PFAS cases. As a president of the Water Keeper Alliance, we had PFAS cases on the Tennessee River, the Alabama, all over the country, and many of those were the milestone cases that really brought PFAS to the attention of the American public.
Well, you would think this guy is really going to crack down on those chemicals in our water and food. For more perfect union, the Trump administration approved 3 new forever chemical-based pesticides last week for use on food crops, including corn and soybeans, the most widely grown crops in the country, as well as wheat, kiwi, oats, peas, broccoli, and coffee. These new chemicals, dude, sometimes you run into some pronunciation issues in this gig. This is going to be a rough one. Diflufenicin, epirefenicil, trifludamoxazin have all been quietly approved without a standard press release. Trump approved other PFAS-based pesticide, cyclobutyrophloram, and isocycloserum earlier this year, and the first food use of chlormequat, which is already found in 90% of Americans' blood. That's awesome, huh? An EPA scientist wrote in the approval documents that at least one of these new PFAS-based pesticides is suggestive evidence of carcinogenic potential. Nothing to see here, folks. These approvals come just days after the Supreme Court sided with chemical maker Bayer and the Trump administration in limiting Americans' ability to sue pesticide companies for harms linked to pesticides. Now Americans will have a harder time holding companies accountable for the cancer-causing effects of their pesticides. From Common Dreams, this is the PFAS presidency. Trump EPA approves another forever chemical pesticide. Environmental and public health advocates on Wednesday ripped the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's 5th approval of a forever chemical pesticide during the current term of President Donald Trump, who campaigned on a promise to make America healthy again.
Great.
Despite that pledge, Trump's second administration, much like his first, has served the pesticide industry in various ways, including by putting out a MAHA report that echoes industry talking points, installing a former industry lobbyist in a key EPA post, backing Bayer-owned Monsanto over cancer patients at the U.S. Supreme Court, and issuing an executive order that mandates the production of glyphosate. Under Trump, the EPA has also approved or reapproved various controversial pesticides, from atrazine and dicamba to trifludamoxazin, which was approved. Gotta have it. You can't have a hamburger without that. Which was approved late Tuesday, like diflufenicin and epirefenicil, which were authorized by the EPA earlier Tuesday, as well as cyclobutyrophloram and isocycloserum, which got a green light from the agency last November. Trifludamoxazin is what some scientists and campaigners call a forever chemical pesticide.
Just some of them.
PFAS, which have been used in not only pesticides, but also fabrics, firefighting foam, nonstick cookware, and other household products, are widely known as forever chemicals because they don't break down naturally. They're also linked to a range of health issues, including various cancers.
Yeah, they using all them type of chemicals, putting out fires daily.
This is the PFAS presidency, brought to you by Donald Trump and EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. Nathan Donnelly, Environmental Health Science Director at the Center for Biological Diversity, declared Wednesday. as with his Tuesday critique of the Trump EPA approving diflufenican and epirifenicil. I swear to God, when I was reading these slides, I thought about not doing the piece because of this. Donnelly pointed to the Supreme Court's recent ruling in favor of Trump-backed Bayer rather than the thousands of Americans who argue that Monsanto's glyphosate-based weed killer Roundup caused their cancer. Quote,
wait, Bayer owns Monsanto?
Yes, apparently.
Oh, so what is it? GR Farben? IG Farben, the Nazi pharmaceutical company. That's Bayer. That's IG Farben is Bayer.
Right.
Oh, do you remember the cyanide and the Tylenol?
Oh, yeah, I remember that back in the day.
My buddy Andy Hunt, and I think he's right. He put it together. That was probably corporate sabotage from IG Farben because Bayer Aspirin was losing out market share at that time with Tylenol. That Tylenol's poison, by the way, everybody. It's been poison. Right. Anybody that knows anything knows it is. Remember those dumb pregnant women drinking Tylenol because RFK said it might cause autism? It's always been poison.
Yeah.
So one poisoner, poison the other guy's poison. Oh, and now Trump's backing him, and of course they run glyphosate. So that's a Nazi
greatest bait and switch in the history of politics. Prove me wrong.
I've never seen a rug pull. Yo, I tell people it's the biggest rug pull I've ever seen. They all don't know what I'm talking. Now, keep in mind, a lot of times I'm talking to comics or people who aren't particularly hit by the utter betrayal of everything Trump said he was going to do. So it's a little harder to admit. You know, it kind of sucks trying to admit it to them. Regular people, they get it. You know.
Right. Waiting.
I'm gonna stop right there, man. If you want to watch the rest of the video, be my guest. They go to title, they go to channel. Oh my goodness. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the righteous are in authority, people be eating healthy. And when the Lord returns, people gonna be eating right, eating healthy. And a lot of them gonna be slaves. Talking about you heathens. Yeah, but y'all gonna be eating healthy. Y'all be eating better than you used to be eating. And the food ain't gonna be defiled, ain't gonna be fucked up. And you Israelites, oh, y'all gonna eat the best of the best. Esau, this nigga can eat grass. Shit. This nigga can eat grass like a cow. As long as the grass, and even they gonna eat. I'm gonna even them how fucked up these Edomites are. I'm gonna have them eating decent too. No, I'm not. I don't know. It depends. I'm gonna figure that shit out when we're in the kingdom. But God damn, but look at this shit. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Man. You can't eat shit, man. This food fucked up. And here, some of the food got parasites on it or in it. And give you the bubble guts. And god dang, you got to end up throwing up and shitting out the food you just ate recently. Now you even more hungry. Man. Let me see. And then, plus, look at how they destroying their own damn people, too. MAGA. Or Muga, or Maha. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. What is it? These niggas here destroying their own people. And really, this is really about destroying you Israelites. But for you Edomite niggas, you niggas don't realize your own people are your enemies. And they trying to kill you. Shit. All because of trying to kill us. Y'all niggas are in the way. Yeah, well, not in the way. We're the ones that's in the way. Y'all just, what's you call it? Casualty, collateral damage. Yeah, you low-level Edomites that think y'all got some importance in this world, you niggas are not important at all. Y'all just collateral damage. And your people are fucking you up. Just like, hey, they fucking us up. But we're the main target. And then it was so bad. We're the main target, but you're aiding them to try to get rid of us. But meanwhile, they're killing you two at the same time. Ooh, it'd be better if you just stay the fuck out the way, nigga. Mind your own damn business for you damn, or help us out to stop this. That'd be the best thing. Help us out to stop your own damn people, but that ain't gonna happen because the only person that gonna stop these damn devils gonna be Yahweh Shah or Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Ecclesiastes chapter 14 verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? Ain't nobody gonna be good to. He ain't good to his own people. Guess what? He ain't gonna be good to you Israelites. He ain't gonna feed you good. He gonna feed you shit ass food. But this is part of our punishment too. But anyway, Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people. Yeah, they're destroying your fellow Americans. To my fellow Americans, you will eat lead candy bars. You might as well be eating the lamb. Yeah, the total lead bar. Shit. Man, goddamn man. I mean, shit. The water shit. Food shit. Goddamn, you wonder why these people so sick. And not just from them vaccine shots, but just from the food as well, too. And you know, our pets, they all jacked up. Yeah, look at them. They got bumps. My dog got bumps all over her head. And she pretty much, she moves around pretty good. Like she's young or something, but she's like 12, 13. About to be, 13 in this year. But, let me see. She got a little tumor on her leg. I think that's a tumor. Or it's a big ass skin tag. But either way, I need to give her a must-ass bath. I ain't giving her a bath in like a month. Shit. She stink. But one thing so far, but one thing I don't like is that the food she eating. I sometimes gotta give her some of my food to make a balance. Yeah, because the foods that these dogs eat, I don't give a fuck how expensive the food is, and they claim to be the best of the best. $100 for a 40-pound bag of whatever dog food it is. That shit's still ultra processed. Yeah, that shit's still ultra processed. And then you got the expensive $5 a can meat, or the refrigerated meat for dogs. And I'm like, what the fuck is it? Just give the damn dog or the cat some goddamn meat that you eat. And then the shit, I wonder how much that shit costs. That refrigerated meat for dogs and cats. That shit probably costs just as more than human food, meat that we consume. Give them some of that, and it'll be a lot cheaper. Damn right. Hell, matter of fact, give them some Walmart meat. They probably won't know the damn difference. Hell no. I don't even know if I want to give them that shit. But either way, hell, they be super happy to get that damn meat instead of getting some dry food all the time eating that shit. You gotta substitute. You gotta do something. Give the dog some rice and some beans and some, I don't know about beans, but give them some rice and some meat. Throw a little gravy on that bitch. Give it something that the dog can drool. Well, I don't know about cats drooling, but for a dog, give him some of the food that can make him drool. Be like, oh yeah. Oh, you want some of this? Yeah. I'm eating some Triscuits. And this shit, damn well it's got some shit on here. But oh well. Everything fucked up. So what did they say in that video about the wheat or something? It's laced with all this crap. And I'm like, yeah. But shit, still. It's fucked up, man. We gotta get the hell out of here. Let me get this lab video.
You guys want to know what's crazy? Farmers are sounding the alarm, and guess what? No one's listening.
The amount of aluminum in our soil now is 5 times to 10 times higher than it was even last year. Let me show you something else. Now that sweet corn is bought, like I said, from the store, so it's not an heirloom seed. It's supposed to be an all-natural seed. It's non-genetically GMO, but I'm starting to doubt it. However, these are cucumber plants. Now, traditionally, those cucumbers, after putting them on the stand, we'd be giving them away, giving them to food pantries. And our corn, that heirloom corn, we'd be giving it away. Our garden this year has suffered the worst. It's not due for not water. These are some of our hot pepper plants. Normally, these plants, I would have so many of these hot peppers that you wouldn't be able, I wouldn't be, like I said, I couldn't sell enough of them, we'd be giving them away.
5 times more aluminum in the soil than last year, and we're finding out more stuff on these GMO seeds that they're making. Is it going to be the only thing that survives out there? Is there a reason why there's only 4 companies?
That's what it seems like. GMO seeds gonna survive all that shit, and that's what they trying to sell or try to feed people with. Man.
Companies out there that are starting to control.
Show you this devil is the fucking devil.
All seed sales. Bayer being the biggest one. All right, and before I get going on this heirloom seed box,
right,
which has got 100
All right, whatever, nigga. Anyway.
Companies account for more than half of all corn, soybean, cottonseed sales. And I'm reading articles that say researchers issuing warning about hidden threats lurking in common produce items associated with all kinds of adverse health effects. And they're saying it's impossible to monitor every single one of those. Our food supply is changing fast, and I don't think it's for the good. I want to show you what these farmers have to say, because I think it's something you probably should know. Coming right up. All right, guys, welcome back. Thanks for starting this off with a like. If you guys appreciate me digging up all this information and sharing it with you so you don't got to do the digging. Also, if you guys can put down in the comments, let me know if you guys grow your own food or do not grow your own food. I'm curious at how many of you rely on the grocery stores and how many of you guys are trying to be self-sufficient and grow as much as possible. And what these farmers have to say, you need to hear about it. And real quick, if you guys want to be prepared and have GMO, if you just want to national source and the farm and nobody times thing, American farmer Julius Tucker just tested his soil and found 5 times the amount of aluminum than last year. His GMO seeds grow perfectly, but his heirloom crops are dying. Meanwhile, Billy G is pushing GMO seeds engineered to thrive in aluminum-rich soil, and geoengineering delivering that aluminum from our skies, and geoengineering delivering the aluminum from the skies. Have you guys seen all the lines in the sky? This post says we are being ruled by extremely evil people who want.
Yeah, they're called Edomites. It's your people, bro. I don't know. You could be an Edomite. You could be an Israelite or somebody of another nation, but it'll say he'd be an Edomite. You're being ruled by your own people, being destroyed by your own people. I just read that earlier about to whom I forgot how he said. To whom be evil? No. To pretty much basically trying to say, roughly paraphrasing, if this guy here evil to himself, to his own people, to whom will he be good? He destroying his own people. Unwise king destroy his people. Yeah, and he's destroying you Edomites just to kill you Israelites. Yep. So you niggas in the way. Get out the way, bitch. We gotta kill these damn Israelite niggas. God, and destroy the rest of the earth, bro. Man, everything they doing, they showing their hatred towards the who created them. Cause that's what the problem is. The elite of Edom, and we're pretty much the low levels and the higher ups. The higher ups are more about just destroying absolutely everything that belongs to the Lord. That's been created by Yahweh Shema Shah. And they hate Yahweh Shema Shah. These niggas wanna kill Yahweh Shema Shah, but they can't. These niggas are dumbasses.
Only their
GM destroying the planet they living on. They how fucking retarded these niggas are, boy.
GMO seeds to grow. The post continues to say they want total control of our food, our skies, our air, our soil, and whatever's in it when we get a poke. Now it says
they want control, but really they just want to destroy it all. They really just want to destroy it all. Destroy everything that's alive.
Is that RFK Jr. and head of the EPA, Lee Zeldin, both promised to stop them from spraying chemicals in our skies. They need to make fast changes. Let's hear what this guy has to say.
This is traditional sweet corn. Now, what's really wild about this is not what we used to call our heirloom seeds. This is just our regular sweet corn that you buy off the shelf. This is GMO corn. Now, we grow this as our field corn. And the reason I want to show you this is I'm going to show you 2 things. This is heirloom corn. Now, we don't weed it.
Damn. So your real seeds, your real heirloom, the real seeds, corn seeds ain't gonna make it, ain't gonna thrive through this soil, in this environment. Man, growing your own shit might not be a chance. You might not be able to do that shit. And somebody said, well, I'll get my soil. Well, what the fuck you think that soil? You get some soil from Walmart or Home Depot? What you think is in that soil, nigga? Anything.
Normally every year, this corn has come up and done really good for the last 10 years. Same seed, so I've grown it over and over, and we rotate our crops. But also, you look at the sunflowers. Once you look at them sunflowers, the sun, I can't see it, but the sun basically is right there, and they've got the flowers have turned away from the sun. This is not something, obviously, if you look down this, that's our garden. We grow over an acre worth of just garden. So what I'm trying to get at.
All they got is damn weeds growing up in that area.
That is, something's not right. There's 2 things that are right. The amount of aluminum in our soil now is 5 times to 10 times higher than it was even last year. Let me show you something else. Now that sweet corn is bought, like I said, from the store, so it's not an heirloom seed. It's supposed to be an all-natural seed. It's non-genetically GMO, but I'm starting to doubt it. However, these are cucumber plants. Now, traditionally, those cucumbers, I'd have so many. After putting them on the stand, we'd be giving them away, giving them to food pantries. And our corn, the heirloom corn, we'd be giving it away. Our garden this year has suffered the worst. It's not due for not water. These are some of our hot pepper plants. Normally, these plants, I would have so many of these hot peppers that you wouldn't be able, I wouldn't be, like I said, I couldn't sell enough of them, we'd be giving them away. And hopefully we have a better garden next year. So we still got enough.
I don't think you're gonna have no garden next year to the year after that. I hope this bitch be nuclear destroyed by next year. And the Lord wanna bring that shit. He gonna destroy America. Because look, everything is fucked up. The people are fucked up, the animals fucked up, the land is fucked up, everything is fucked up over here. And the Lord gotta vaporize this place.
That we're going to be able to maintain costs, operational costs. We still have our vegetable stand. It's just not booming like it usually is. We've let the weeds kind of come back up and take over some of the garden because we weren't getting the production out of it what we should. So the stand's good. We're going to can enough for our family, but as far as being able to provide for others, it's not going to be as viable for us to be able to do that.
I think it's why a lot of people are starting to grow in greenhouses. Now look, before I get to this next clip, which is loaded with a lot of you're gonna learn a lot from this clip. This is what someone wrote into me and said, hey Cohen, I know you're right about the soil is being sprayed. I live near Farmville, Virginia, and we have lots of wonderful Amish neighbors. I wish I lived around the Amish, I really do. There are huge greenhouses going up all over Beckingham and Cumberland counties, as the Amish elders have instructed all of their people to start constructing them. He says they know something. He goes on to write, another thing that I love about living here in the Amish stores in the area, they sell a lot of Walnut Creek brand canned foods. Must be a good one. The cool thing is when you check the ingredients list, it says carrots, salt, or green beans, salt, etc. They don't put a cornucopia of ingredients in the food, just what the label product says, along with some salt and water. Very good food. And that's what you guys need to start looking for. Minimal ingredients. Also further down he says, for growing stuff, watch a channel called Evergreen Seniors. Very valuable info on growing and harvesting and making the most out of it.
Alright, we're gonna wrap this up. Matthew chapter 24 verse 21. For then shall there be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. And except those days be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So no flesh be saved, but this devil here ruling this world. Everything's fucked up, poison. From the water, the air, to the soil. They got your food. Ain't nobody gonna slide this. And we be here 5, 10, 20 damn years later. No. The Lord's speeding up time for his people to get them out of here before it's too late. So shit. You Israel better hop on board and try and do your best seeking the Lord, man. Repent. The Lord the Lord is already unleashing Esau, his pit bull on you, Jakes. From the low level devil to the higher ups, the Lord gonna say sickle. Yeah, the Lord gonna tell Esau to sickle. He gonna get you Israelite, bro. You better, hey man, you better seek the Lord, bro. This devil here, motherfucking nigger. I don't poison every damn thing. The fucking monkey. Don't know how to manage the world right. That's why the Lord gonna knock his nigga's ass out. Man. Can't wait to see the fall of this nigga. But right now, man, this nigga got access to the whole world, controlling everything, and he put poison in everything. That's all I gotta say, man. Seek Yahweh Shema Shah by seeking his prophets and take heed to what to say and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repenting to Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble. And to you few sisters out there, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah. To you few sisters, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order. Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.